system is just way, way too complicated. People are getting the wrong benefits all the time. They're filing for retirement benefits at the wrong time. They're filing for spouse benefits. They're forgetting to file for spouse benefits. They don't know they're entitled to spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits called independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, disability benefits. They don't know they can file for retirement and disability at the same time. They don't know that they don't have to sign up for Medicare at 65 if they have these. The whole system is just way, way too complicated. And how do I know? My name is Ed Weir. I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country, and I've helped millions of people out with all things Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Before I worked for Social Security, I worked for a Department of Social Services doing Medicaid. And a few years ago, when I was a young guy with actually probably less hair, I was a sergeant in the Marine Corps. So I've spent most of my adult life in the bureaucratic nightmare that is the federal government. And in my semi-retirement, I retired, and about a week later, I got bored, and here I am. My new mission in life is to make sure y'all are getting everything you're entitled to. How do I do that? Through these videos. I've done over 800 videos. Going to be continuing to do more. There's just so many people losing money and benefits. And I also do live Q&As, free, 100% free live Q&As, which I'm going to do right after I tell you why you need to make sure you're getting everything from Social Security. Because what do they say? You don't know what you don't know. A lot of people out there are, "Oh, I'm getting my check, everything is good," until they watch my video and they realize, oh, wait a second, I didn't know I could get that. Or just as important, they know someone in their life. I just got another text today from Tina that she said she watches me on a regular basis, and she had a friend, didn't know she could get survivor benefits. She made her aware of it, brought her to my live Q&A, watched a little bit. They went down to Social Security and they requested their money, and she got her money. So that's a beautiful thing. One of the problems is, the reason I have to do this, the reason I have to do these live Q&As and make all these videos is because unfortunately Social Security is kind of dropping the ball. They really need to step up and answer the phone and provide customer service at the particular offices throughout the country, but they are inundated. Martin O'Malley, the Commissioner of Social Security, testified to Congress that Social Security is understaffed, the worst in decades. Sometimes he says the worst in 27 years. Sometimes he says the worst in 50 years, but I know it's terrible. I've still got my coworkers that I used to manage when I was at Social Security. Yeah, they convey that it's getting worse. And one of the problems is even if Congress decides, okay, we're going to improve customer service of Social Security, we'll improve your computer systems, and we'll give you a whole bunch more staff throughout the country, it'll still take about a year or two because those people need to be trained. There's about 3 or 4 months of 8-hour-a-day training that needs to take place, and then after that, those new employees are under full review. And so customer service, even if they provided more staff, the customer service would actually get worse for about a year because so much effort and time would be taking training those people. So because of all that, I've come out of semi-retirement, and once Social Security steps up and starts doing the right thing, you will never see me again, and I will go back into retirement and ride off into the sunset, I guess. But in the meantime, here I am. Please make sure you subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. But if you need help from Social Security, I'm going to give you some tips, tricks, and secrets on how to kind of navigate the bureaucracy here. And then I'll go ahead and get your live Q&A. Make sure you type your questions down there. If you need to set up an appointment, call the 800 number. If you're able to do a new claim, an initial claim for a retirement benefit, spouse benefits, you cannot do survivor benefits online yet. They've been working on that for a while. They just started the SSI, Supplemental Security Income. They've been working on that for about 15 years. We used to be one of the pilot offices for that. So that was about 15 years ago. So they've been working on it forever. You call the 800 number, set up an appointment, but most offices, 99% of offices out there, can only take appointments for new claims. So if you're filing a new claim for disability, retirement benefits, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, SSI, then you can set up an appointment. Anything else, they call it internally a PE appointment, post entitlement. You're already receiving benefits. and you have some issue, overpayment, or you want to change your address or whatever the case may be, you cannot set up an appointment for that. Unfortunately, you have to actually go in and wait and wait and wait. And big questions. When do I go ahead and file for these benefits, particularly retirement benefits? About 3 months before is perfect. So if you're going to coming up on 60 and you're filing for survivor benefits, is which when survivor benefits start at 60. As early as 60, it's reduced, obviously. But about 2 or 3 months before, you can apply for survivor benefits. 2 or 3 months before, you can start your retirement benefits. If you're going to start at 62 years old, you have to be 62 the entire month. So if you're not 62 the entire month, basically you weren't born on the first, then you'll have to wait for the following month. 65 is the key date, the key age you get your Medicare. You don't have to sign up for Medicare if you don't necessarily want it. And speaking of Medicare, because so many people, I help with Social Security, but a lot of people need help with the Medicare plan. Social Security helps you sign up for Part A and Part B, and everything else they cannot talk about because those are private plans. Medicare Part C, the Medicare Advantage plans, the Part D, those are private plans. The Medicare Supplement plans, those are private plans. So Social Security employees cannot help you with those. So I looked throughout the country and I looked for a company, an agency that would help you all out. And I interviewed many, 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 many. And I was looking for 100% neutral advisors, and I finally found it with Chapter there. So if you need help with Medicare plans, and this is the annual enrollment period. This is a terrible annual enrollment period because there are so many changes for 2025. So many people, there's close to 2 million people that their plans are being canceled, and there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people that don't open their mail and don't realize their plans are canceled until they go to the doctor in January, and then yeah, it's going to be an issue. So it's important that you check to see if your plan was canceled or not, or whether the company decided to go ahead and keep you around and not cancel you, but make some more money and just downgrade your plan to such an extent that it's one of those things that the zero premium is probably going to stay there. You'll have the same card, but those plans, the Medicare Advantage plans, the Part D plans, those change every single year, and you have to look at the fine print every year. So if you need help looking at the fine print, call Chapter there, and they can help you 100% for free. I also do private consultations. I'm probably going to not do those very much longer. I do charge for that, pays for everything else, the phones and all that kind of good stuff. So if you need help, but 99.9% of my help is free, either through these live Q&As. Again, I've been doing almost every day for months and months and months. I missed 2 or 3 days. I had to take a break, or my wife said I had to take a break. Let's say that. So, and the Medicare help is 100% free as well. So reach out to them. So this is the busy season, October 15th and December 7th. If you don't review your plan, then you're stuck in it for next year. So it doesn't matter what it is, whatever the company decides to renegotiate your plan and kind of tell you, but you don't check, then that's yours. Congratulations. Starting January 1st, that's your new plan. You're kind of stuck with it. All right. Let's tell you how the sausage is made a little bit here. When you file an initial claim, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a retirement claim, spouse benefits, a disability claim, SSI, or whatever the case may be, that's an initial claim. If you disagree with the decision from Social Security, you have the right to an appeal. And the appeals process is you file a reconsideration. And if you ever come across that, come join me and I'll tell you how to do it. It's super, super easy for a reconsideration. If you disagree with that decision, then you can go to what's called the administrative law judge, ODAR. They changed the acronym in that agency so many times. It's crazy. But anyway, that's it. But those take about 2 years to get the day in court with the administrative law judge. If you disagree with that decision, then you go to appeals council in Falls Church, Virginia. You don't have to go there, obviously, it's virtual. And if you disagree with that, you go to federal court, federal district court. Disagree with that, then you go to the Supreme Court, and then yeah, that's about it. Unfortunately, there's no more after that. So there's a lot of processes. the retirement age. One of the issues coming up is some politicians out there want to raise the retirement age to make sure Social Security is here for a lot longer and they don't have to do cuts. I've done a bunch of videos on the possible cuts, anywhere from 17 to 20%. I'm going to keep up on this. And I don't know if y'all have heard, but there is a presidential race. There's an election coming up, and there are going to be a lot of changes. And I'm going to watch every single one of those changes and make you all aware of them. So we make sure that Social Security is going to be around here for the long term and those cuts don't happen. So I need y'all's help to do that. We need to, as those are our political representatives, and we need to reach out to them and tell them, hey, we don't want 17% cuts, 20% cuts in 2034, 2035, or perhaps sooner. So we need to go out there and take action. And here's something I am requesting everybody. I really want to retire. I want to stop. I'm going to keep doing. I don't mind doing these. I'll do these for the next 20 or 30 or 40 years, but I shouldn't have to. Social Security should be doing all of this, but the reason they're not is because they just don't have staffing and everything. They're not going to tell you all the inside tips, tricks, and secrets up, But anyway, they should be doing this type of outreach, but they're not. Because of the politicians. The politicians are the ones that support the agency. And here's where I need your help. I know your local politician, your federal congressperson, senator. You've seen them in the newspaper. They put on their funny, hard hat and they get their golden shovel and they go out there and they ground break for some new building or highway or dam or whatever like that they brought to the district. Or they go out there with their funny clown scissors and they cut a ribbon at something and they pat themselves on the back and said, look what I did for y'all. I'm so awesome and stuff like that, even though sometimes they voted against that particular thing. And so, yes, anyway. But here's what I want y'all to do. Tell them, okay, fine. Thank you for the bridge. Thank you for that new road. But have you gone to the local Social Security office? Have you called the local Social Security office and been on hold for 3 hours? Have you gone down there, watched the line at 9 o'clock, go all the way, around the parking lot 3 times, like my office? We want you to support your local office. Okay, we understand that, it's all a backyard. These politicians, they don't do anything nationally, but hopefully in their backyard, they do something. So hopefully, if enough people pressure your local politician, your federal politician, to improve the customer service at their local office, and everybody does that, then the customer service at the local offices will be better and everybody will start getting their benefits that they're entitled to. And I can go off into the sunset. I'll probably still make these videos to give you all the inside tips, tricks, and secrets. And anyway, but that's what I'm appealing to y'all for. So please, let's go out there and do the right thing. Okay, enough stalling here. Let's get into, wow, we got tons of questions out here. And let me, since we're in the middle of the annual enrollment period, I'll put the chapter phone number down there for y'all because, yeah, so many hundreds of thousands of people. I know someone. I'm sure you know someone that is going to be shocked next year because they didn't check their Medicare plan, they didn't check their Part D plan, and they're going to be charged so much more money. So please, if you've never reviewed your plan before, this is the year to do it. So please call them, call the person that signed you up, your insurance broker, whoever helped you out before. But call somebody and review the plan. You really need help because insurance companies are all about sticking stuff in the fine print. Okay, all right. Tina had a comment that she watches my videos on a regular basis, and she had a friend and didn't know she was entitled to survivor benefits, and then she brought it to her attention based on all the videos we do here, and she took her friend down to Social Security and asked for the survivor benefits, and she got some survivor benefits. But unfortunately, Tina, your comment disappeared. So if you could type that comment in one more time, that way I can prove that I'm just not making that story up. We've found tens of millions of dollars for people so far. So found some more money. It's a beautiful thing. And the reason it's not me, it's y'all. It's when y'all share, when y'all look out for those people around you and like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. That's how we find money for people. So please, please, please. All right, let's see. Bison, new here question. My son has been working 10 years paying into Social Security. He was hired with the railroad, so he will now get railroad retirement. What happens to this Social Security he paid in for 10 years now? It'll be good. Yeah, the railroad board. It's interesting. When I was taking Social Security claims before I became the manager and all that stuff, yeah, if someone came in and at 62, 65 wanted to file for retirement, and we saw on their record that they're also railroad, it was kind of strange that we would call the railroad board and find out who has jurisdiction. So it's basically who the railroad board would tell us, oh, Social Security has jurisdiction or railroad board has jurisdiction. But those benefits, the Social Security is kind of a very, very unique system. But yeah, they'll still get paid. Railroad board will take that into consideration. Social Security will take the railroad, time into consideration. So he's not losing those benefits whatsoever. So it's just a matter of which organization will adjudicate the claim. So yeah, it's the railroad board is an interesting thing. It's kind of an interesting history. The railroad board in America had Social Security before Social Security did. So that was kind of the kind of the compromises when Social Security was started long, long time ago. Is the railroad board says, yeah, y'all can do what you want, but we've been around y'all longer, so you have to make a consideration for us too. So interesting little history there. Is it just the first year of IRMA that they look back 2 years for income level, or does income look back continue indefinitely year after year, year after year? So IRMA is income related monthly adjustment amount. And it's basically a extra premium for high wage earners, and it's based on your earnings from 2 years ago. There's a reason for that. I won't get into it, but it's a very logical reason why they look 2 years prior. So basically, this year, right now, if you made over 103,000, if you're single, over 206,000 married, then you're going to pay an extra premium this year in 2024 for the entire year. And then next year, they'll look back again 2 years prior. And if you didn't make that, then you'll just pay the regular. And if you made over that, let's say you're married, you worked, and y'all made, $300,000, then you're going to pay the extra premium. But if you have since stopped working, then that's one of what's called the life-changing event. So where you can file an appeal, it's an SSA 44. There's always a form. This is the bureaucracy we're talking about. There's always a form. So an SSA 44, you file that, and then they get rid of that IRMA, that extra premium. And the extra premium is Part B and Part D, the drug plan as well. So there's extra premium for both of those. And if they determine that they approve your life-changing event and it's already, let's say, October, and you've been paying that every month since January, they'll give you all that money back because, yeah, you filed the appeal. So to anyone who's already posted a question, yeah, type it again. Yes, taken, Duck. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Looks like some of those disappeared. Let's see. Barbara, Steve, oh, hey, hello. Hey, what's up? When I pass on, can my Social Security benefits go to my disabled son? Can you? Yeah, if you have a disabled son, those benefits, a disabled child can get those benefits now. It's called a DAC, disabled adult child. If your son or child became disabled before the age of 22, then they should file for disability. And hopefully, if they're approved for those disabled adult child benefits based on your record, but you have to start receiving benefits, as retirement or disability on your own record. And then they file for disabled adult child benefits, and they'll get 50% of your full benefit amount. When you pass away, they get 75%, up to 75% of your full benefit amount, your primary insurance amount. But if you're not receiving benefits now, then the child cannot receive benefits unless the child files for SSI. I understand it's an adult child, but it's your child, right? My child is in his 30s, but he's always been my child. Anyway, my awesome kid. But if they're disabled and they never worked, there's also supplemental security income. So there's two different types of disabilities Social Security administers. There's SSI and SSDI. SSI or let me go, SSDI is Social Security Disability Insurance, what you actually paid into when you paid your FICA taxes all those decades. So if you become disabled, unable to work, then you file for SSDI. If you really didn't pay that much and your SSDI is very low, then you can file for Supplemental Security Income, SSI. It's the welfare-based program the Social Security administers. So possibly have your son, a disabled son, apply for SSI, and that'll get the disability process started. And particularly if they're under 22, then they can be, determined to be disabled. And that way, later on, when you file for benefits, then the child has already been proven to be disabled for before the age of 22, and it'll be a lot easier process. So definitely check that out. Cheerful lady, I will turn 65 in February. My new supplement starts February 1st. I was told by my current plan F that I can leave the plan return up to a year without underwriting. Is that true? There's a lot of variation, depends on the particular state. I would call chapter there and they can check to see. So you were able to get a plan F and you turned 65 in February. That's, yeah, usually, um, yeah, plan Fs are becoming a lot more expensive depending on how much there's three ways you can get a Medicare supplement, three ways you can buy it, or three pricing methodologies. But yeah, if you're going to 65 soon, unless you are disabled and you've had Medicare for a long, long time, and now since you're 65, then you've got a lot more options. A lot of people on disability can only get Medicare Advantage plans because in their particular state, so maybe Cheerful Lady lives in a particular state that allows that. But in most states, they don't. You can only get a Medicare Advantage under 65. And then once you turn 65, then you can get whatever plan, Medicare Supplement, a G or an N usually. But an F, that's, yeah, unless you had disability prior or something like that. But, and it depends on what your particular state. So call chapter and ask that question. And then remember, you also make sure you sign up for Part D. A lot of people on Medicare supplements, they say, well, I've got, my supplement all good. And then they forget about the Part D, and there's a penalty if you don't sign up for Part D when you're supposed to. That penalty is 1% for every month you did not sign up for Part D for the rest of your life. So call them up and they'll be able to help you out. Tell them Ed said hi. Thanks so much for helping out those of us in need of answers about the quagmire that is Social Security. I like that, quagmire. Yes, yes. Famous word always used in Vietnam, the quagmire, right? If I file for disability right now, I could receive $1,400 a month. If I try to work for 2 more years, then apply, will my disability be more at the time? Yeah, conceivably. It depends. This is with everything, retirement benefits, spouse benefits on your record, disability. Social Security looks at the high 35 years of earnings. So they don't look at the last 2 or 5 or 10 to determine your benefit amount. They look at your high 35 years of earnings. And if you're 80 years old and still working, then they'll look at that year too, see if it's one of your high 35. So yeah, if you're receiving 1,400 and you continue to work, and those, this year and next year is one of your high 35 years, they recalculate automatically and get you some more money. And then obviously you get the COLA as well, the exciting 2.5%. And that's another thing we need to change. So I'm going to do a video once y'all choose who the next president is going to be, and I'm going to take all their words that they talked about Social Security and Medicare and stuff, and I'm going to bring it back to y'all's attention. Okay, here's what this particular person said about Social Security, that they're going to do about Social Security and Medicare. Now let's make sure they keep their promises, and which is good luck getting politicians to keep their promises, but hey, we got to try, right? I'm 70 years old. I've been on disability. Okay. My son has started work this month with the railroad. He is okay. I already answered that one. What percentage 1,400 should I put aside for taxes? Yeah, I don't do taxes. That's one of the problems is with all the social media TikTokers and YouTubers and stuff that never worked at Social Security, don't have the experience, haven't read the 20,000 pages of policies backwards and forwards and upside down. And they go out there and give Social Security, kind of information on the interwebs, and they miss the qualifications and the exceptions to the exceptions. And people are getting incorrect information out there and losing a lot of benefits because people that shouldn't be given, advice on Social Security and Medicare are unfortunately on YouTube doing exactly that. And so I never worked with the IRS. I've been trying to cancel my subscription with the IRS for decades, so I do not give IRS type of tax type of information. But one thing that whatever you decide, the percentage you do want to do, you can have that withheld from your Social Security check. Social Security does not withhold taxes unless you voluntarily ask. And that's what the form is called, voluntary tax withholding. The form is W4V. So if you decide to hold back 7%, 15%, 22%, whatever the case may be, then you just go ahead. I think they've just added that to the online service, so it makes it a lot easier to get taxes withheld of your Social Security check. And 40-50% of people do not pay taxes on their Social Security because that's pretty much the only thing they get is Social Security. But if you have other sorts of income, then you're probably also going to pay taxes on Social Security up to 85% of your Social Security check. Not 85% tax rate, but whatever tax rate you are, 85% of your Social Security check is subject to whatever tax rate you're paying. And so what I always tell people, even when I work for Social Security, they ask me how many percent. I say, well, I can't tell you that. But if you do 7%, you just kind of guesstimate and need to do 7%. And then next year, you turn out paying, you need to pay more or not enough or whatever. Then you just call Social Security and jump it up to 15%, from 7 to 15 or from 15 to 7. So you can switch it every year. So. All right. My nephew received SSI as a child due to an intellectual disability. He was released from prison a few years ago. And what is the best way to get his benefits restarted? Yeah, so you have to restart the whole thing again. So call Social Security, watch my videos. I've done a few videos on filing for disability. Done 3 videos, inside scoop, tips, tricks, and secrets, and medical records and the appeals process and how to help you out, whether you need a lawyer or not. So yeah, make sure you watch that. But yeah, right now wouldn't be able probably. Yeah, there's called an EXR, expedited reinstatement of a previous claim, but that is only if your previous benefits were stopped because of work. So he was in prison, so obviously that doesn't count. So it has to be a brand new, from day one, brand new claim, unfortunately. Let's see. Thank you, Dr. Weir. Can I move outside the U.S. with my SDA and Medicare benefits? I have Plan G and will be signed up for Plan D next month, turning 65. Yes, some Medicare supplement plans do cover emergency services outside of the country. So it really depends on, whatever company you sign up with. Part D, not so much because it has to be American pharmacies and stuff. And you have to be in, particular areas of the country. That Plan D, the Medicare Advantage plans and the Part D plans are geographic targeted. So the Plan D plan you got was based on your zip code. Plan G is, based on the state, but with Plan G, you can go anywhere in the country. And again, some places you can get emergency type services outside, emergency only. So if you need, the doctor says you need a knee replacement or something like that, then that's probably not going to be covered outside the United States unless it's an emergency for some reason. So a Medicare Part C insurance company lied to me. I am on a SSDI. Originally, I was on cost plan. I then relocated. I then tried to sign up for a supplement plan, but denied me. Wow, that's not good. Yeah, there are, if you're on a Medicare Part C, a cost plan there, which is only a few states, so you're probably Wisconsin or something like that. But anyway, Minnesota. Yeah, if you relocate, then you usually have a special enrollment period. So yeah, I would call Medicare and they can search and see if there's anything available in your new area, and whatever you have now, you definitely need to review it anyway. But they can see what they can do and see if they can get you in a special enrollment period. One of the good things about so many people being canceled, close to 2 million Medicare plans being canceled is the people that receive that cancellation have a special enrollment. So now they can get a Medicare supplement plan. So if they had a Medicare Advantage plan, but they really want a Medicare supplement because they couldn't get it because you had to go through health underwriting, now you don't have to go through health underwriting because you have a special enrollment period because your Medicare Advantage been canceled. So I get people that join live Q&A and send me little messages and stuff. And I really hope they cancel me. I never want to be canceled, but I really want to be canceled this year. So if you're canceled, congratulations. You now have more options, and check to see if a Medicare supplement plan is good for you. Everybody wants a Medicare supplement plan, but the issue is there is a monthly premium for that. And most Medicare Advantage plans don't have a monthly premium. I'm looking at my other little thing to see if there's any other questions. So many ways for them to take your retirement. Yeah, the if you Social Security employees, number one, they're understaffed. Number two is they don't provide financial advice. They don't do break-even points to figure out whether you should file now or later. You pretty much have to go to the Social Security Administration knowing what you want before you go in. Um, and so most people don't know what they want or don't know what's available to them, that they're surviving spouses, and whether they can get benefits even if their ex-spouse hasn't filed yet, and can they switch from this to another one. And they were receiving survivor benefits now, but now the first spouse passed away, and so yeah, there's so many different variables that yeah, people are losing money every single day, and that's what we're here for. All right. Oh, it says the company said I failed underwriting, but I did not have to. Through you describe what should I do? Yeah, call chapter there and then see what's going on. So, um, yeah, if you moved or something like that, then you should have had some type of special enrollment period that you did not have to go through underwriting. But yeah, call the experts at chapter. Really, again, it really depends on the state and everything like that. Those are that particular part of it is state regulated. What are some of the reasons that Social Security overpayments that occurred during COVID timeframe, March 2020, are waived? Pretty much all overpayments are waived for a couple of. You have to jump over two hurdles. It's not your fault, and you don't have the ability to repay. So if both of those. So if one, they don't necessarily waive it. It has to be both. So it's not your fault, and you don't have the ability to repay it. So what do you mean by that? Well, if it's obviously, so if it's 100% Social Security's fault, they messed up, they sent you $500 more than they should have for 5 years, then it's 100% their fault. Okay, it's their fault. They did miscalculation, whatever. But if they find out, you've got, you're getting, $20,000 a month from your 401k or something like that, and it's like, yeah, it's our fault. We did overpay you, but you have the ability to repay. But if you're only, receiving, $1,000 a month from Social Security, then you don't have the ability to repay, and they can waive it. And luckily, um, uh, there's a 60 minutes um, uh, expose that came out a little while ago, and they brought the attention to overpayments from Social Security, and it became a national thing. And so it's easier to address now. It's easier to set up a payment plan. It used to be difficult to set up a payment plan for 60 months. Now it's a lot easier. It used to be easier for just 12 months or 24 months, but anything after that, you'd have to jump through a lot more hoops. And overpayments, when you're set up in a payment plan, they are interest free. All those overpayments are interest free. So it's always good to get the longest payback as you possibly can. But COVID timeframe, yeah, I mean, you can use that as not your fault because, okay, I've had people contact me to do private consultations, and they say, well, it's not my fault because I called Social Security, but Social Security didn't pick up the phone. I went into the office, but they were closed. So I did everything I possibly could to address this, but they couldn't help me. But then the next question is, do you have the ability to repay? DJ, does the widow Social Security benefits count towards the max annual income, or can I receive that and work as long as I don't make over the max annual income? Yes. Well, no. Yes, you are right. No, that it is no. Um, your benefits from Social Security do not count as part of your annual income. So your annual income, the 22,320, and next year it's what, 23,400, I think it is, doesn't include anything from Social Security, doesn't include money you get pull out from a 401k or IRA or whatever like that. It's only work or self-employment, net income from self-employment. So yeah, so you could be receiving $2,000 a month from Social Security and continue to work. This year, it's the monthly is 1860, so you can make 1860 every month for the rest. Um, as long as 1860 is basically the $22,340 divided by 12. So that's how. So yep, your check doesn't count in there. So love the video cover. Oh, okay. Oh, the thumbnail one. Yes, yes, yes. I'm taking yeah, my son has helped me with thumbnails and all things. If you watch my videos, I just started this channel. I just kind of played around it for the first 6 months and stuff with my 4 viewers. And you can watch my videos. Some of the early ones I did, wow, they were terrible. I was it the old Virginia Slims. I've come a long way, baby. Anyway, so um, all right. There are jobs missing on my Social Security earnings record from long ago, my first jobs. Any way to find those? Should I 70s do the Ask Social Security Claim Specialist? It's time to adjudicate, taking them a while. Yes, absolutely. And every single time I do a video like this, I'm always telling people you've got to check your earnings record. In the old days when they used to send out, every year, the little thing that says, this is how much your benefit is going to be. This is how much we've got your earnings for last year. So many people are not checking that on a regular basis. So please make sure all your friends and family and kids and everything, check those. But if you have something missing like that, your first jobs, and you actually paid into the system, the first thing is when you're filing for the claim, you tell the claim specialist, when you're filing for retirement, it says, hey, I worked in 1975 and it says zero. And in 1974, I worked for the same company and those earnings are there. In 1976, I worked for the same company and those earnings are there. So for some reason, the middle year there just is not there. And what Social Security employee can do if they're doing their job is they look at what's called the suspense file. So probably in that particular year, 1975, somebody typed the Social Security number wrong, and those earnings are just sitting out there in limbo in a suspense file. And they can look at the EIN, the employer identification number for that company, and see if there's any earnings just sitting around there. And then they look at it and says, oh, here's your name, and you said you made about this much. Oh yeah, this is it. And oh, I can see they typed 1 2 instead of 2 1 on your Social Security number, and they just bring those earnings down, put it in your record. And if you've been receiving benefits for 2 or 3 or 4 years, then and if that increases the benefit, they will give you all that money back paid. So for the last 2 or 3 years. But if it's not in the suspense file, then you're going to have to find some way to prove it, get to the IRS and, to prove that you actually paid into Social Security those particular years. And it's very, very difficult going that far back. So your best bet is hopefully it's in the suspense file. And again, this is why I tell people check your earnings record on a regular basis. All right. Hello, I'm on SSDI. Will it turn into regular Social Security at your retirement age? Yes, it will. Social Security disability insurance will switch to regular retirement at your full retirement age. Most people don't notice because your check is the exact same. It goes into the same direct deposit the same day and everything like that. It's just a bureaucratic thing. They stop taking your benefits out of the Social Security Disability Trust Fund and start taking it out of the Retirement Trust Fund. But the good thing is, you're technically no longer on Social Security disability. You're on just regular retirement. And because of that, you're past your full retirement age. So you can now work and Social Security doesn't care. You can work as much as you want and you're not going to lose your benefits because you're not on disability. And because you're past your full retirement age, you can work as much as you want. Nothing is withheld. And you no longer have those, continuing disability reviews. So you are completely free. All right. Let's see, Sam, my wife and I have a monthly Social Security benefit of 4,000. What percentage of deduction should I take? So, okay, again, yep. So I would talk to your accountant. It looks like I may need to file for SSI, Medicare, and Medicaid. What plan should be the best for me if I file before my full retirement age, which is 67? No pension is my reason to file this way. Yes, absolutely. So file for SSI, the Supplemental Security Income. Um, as I mentioned, SSI, you can get that based on a disability before your age 65. But if you're 65 and older, you can get it based on what's called SSI aged. Um, so again, that's low income, low resources to file for that. And they'll check if you're entitled to anything else, spouse benefits or survivor benefits or whatever the case may be. But if you're only getting SSI and no retirement or anything, then you might not be eligible for Medicare if you didn't pay into the system or you married to someone that paid into the system. And then you'd only be eligible for Medicaid from the state. However, if you are eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, then I would recommend a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan. You can't sign up for a Medicare Supplement plan because that's illegal for them to sign you up because you're on Medicaid. Um, a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan. Dual eligible is you're eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, and those are the ones you see advertised all the time that have all the extra benefits. The grocery cards and the over the counter and electricity and all this other kind of stuff. It really depends on your particular area how much you got there. But yeah, those cards are available. They how they're advertised is really scammy, but they are eligible. They are out there. They do exist, and it really depends on your particular area. And even people that do not have a dual eligible plan, it depends on your particular area. Where there's a lot of competition in your area, you might have something that'll be able to help you out with groceries or electricity or something like that, or gym membership or extra dental, vision, hearing, and all that kind of stuff. So call my partners at Chapter, and they'll treat you right and see what's available in your area. They look at all plans available in your area. And so they're completely neutral. Doesn't matter which one you finally decide to choose, they'll help you enroll, no problem. If my husband passes away at 68 and was planning to wait till 70, what will be my widow benefit calculation? So it will be based on the age he was when he passed away. So even though I understand that he was planning to wait till 70, and 70 is when you get the maximum delayed retirement credit. So he was waiting for the max delayed retirement credits, which is the extra 8% every year. So, 24%. But yeah, so if he passed away at exactly 68 years old, then if his full retirement age, let's say we're 67, then he'll get 8% and you'll get that 8%. So they give you the delayed retirement credits based on the month he passes away. So however old he was that particular month, that's how much extra delayed retirement credits they will give you. And if you're your full retirement age, they will give you 100% of that full benefit amount. The full benefit amount is, the full benefit amount, the full retirement age, plus however many extra percent for the delayed retirement credits. So DJ, does the widow Social Security benefit count towards the annual income amount? Oh, no, already answered that one. Yep, only actually work. Purple Love, good evening, Dr. Ed and everyone, and good evening. Retired at 62. My ex-spouse's record also. He is still working and has received 3 years in a row of benefit earnings adjustments. I did not. Called Social Security and was told no increase from my record. My ex-spouse's, so he is still working. Yeah, that if his primary insurance amount goes up, then your benefit should also increase. But a lot of people get it all. They because you got the COLA, obviously, the cost of living allowance. What 3.2 this year, 8.7 the previous year. So yeah, a lot of people. Don't confuse the COLA with the increase on the benefit. But if he's continuing to work and paying into it, but that takes longer. The COLA increase. So if you get a COLA increase, then everybody gets it. It's calculated whenever Congress, or not Congress, whenever the actuaries, the Department of Labor Statistics determine COLA, then the Social Security computer system automatically gives it to the 70 million people receiving benefits. That's starting January. Easy. The benefit adjustment based on working more, that takes a little bit longer, because if Social Security doesn't know how much you made last year until you actually file taxes. So if you wait until April to file taxes, then you notify the IRS, and it takes them a month or two to notify the Social Security system, and it takes them a month or two to do the calculations, whatever. And then, so I've had people coming into live Q&A says, "Hey, I just got an extra check for, $87. What was that?" It's because you worked more last year, probably. So it's usually a separate one, anywhere from July, August, September, October, November. So yeah, that doesn't sound right. If his benefit has gone up, then yours should have gone up. But they probably, yeah, they, the person you talked to probably didn't know where to look. They just have to look on. They're probably looking on your MBR. They need to look at his MBR, master beneficiary record. Your MBR has your information, but you're a what's called a BIC, beneficiary identification code on his MBR. So I would call again, and yeah, they should be able to find out where it is. You probably just had a new person. You don't really want to retire. You care about people too much. It shows you care. Yeah, yeah. I don't think I'll ever retire. I'm also still a professor. I've just had finished grading papers. So I'm still teaching 3 classes and doing all this other stuff. So yeah, been working since I was like 10 years old. So I'm not going to stop now. I'm waiting for if I work hard enough, maybe my hair will come back, but I don't know. I was told today that I will only get 82.5% of survivors benefits since they got my application in September. I'll be 70 in January. No credits on my record. Yes. Yeah, there's no, you don't get the delayed retirement credits. If you're filing for survivor benefits, if the deceased spouse waits till after their full retirement age up to 70, they get the delayed retirement credits, and then you get it from your spouse. But if you wait after your full retirement age, no, you don't get anything. Yeah, you don't get that delayed retirement credits, because it has to be on that person's record. But yeah, 82.5%. It sounds as though your spouse filed benefits early. So because they filed benefits, you're not going to get 100% of their full benefit amount. You're getting you're getting 100% of the 82.5% is basically what yeah, the survivor benefits calculations are a nightmare. So you're getting 100% of 82.5%, which is actually good. It sounds like you're receiving the widow's limb. So technically, you probably should be getting about 71.5%, but they upped it to 82.5%. So that's actually a benefit. Sounds like your spouse probably started receiving benefits at 62. So yes, please, everybody press the like button so this more people can get information. Okay, all right, another same IRS question. After waiting 5 months, we were told husband finally has a case manager now. However, they could not provide a name, case number, and said we have to wait for a letter. We reside in Maryland and CM. And so 5 months. So that sounds like a disability claim. And the case manager, probably what you're talking about is at the disability determination services. So yeah, so don't call. If I'm kind of reading between the lines here, that's what happens when you do this a million times. So don't call the Social Security office, because they're not doing the medical portion of your disability claim. It's a state agency. You just have to Google Department of Disability Determination Services. Sometimes states call a little bit different, but disability DDS, and then wherever in Maryland or wherever, Virginia or wherever, whatever state you filed your claim. So it's at that state agency, and then that state agency should have your claim examiner there, so you can reach out to them. And if they're not giving your names, yeah, that sounds strange. Um, yeah, I'll be sending you a beer or coffee soon. Ah, appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for the support. Yeah, one beer Weir. So lots of coffee, only one beer. Though. My local Social Security office can't reset my password. Who do I call to do that? I can't update my paperwork. Yeah, they should be able to reset your password. Maybe they might not be able to do it over the phone. Sometimes if you really, really mess things up, which is easy to do in this new system, then you actually have to go down there physically, show an ID and all that kind of stuff, and they'll be able to reset it. Um, if the person you talk to knows what they're doing. If it's a new employee, it's like, oh, we can't do it. It's not we can't do it. It's that person can't do it. So started receiving the retirement benefit in June at full retirement age. At the end of July, withdraw the app, reapplied in October 3 weeks later, and received the letter. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like this was it Skin Tune. Um, this is one way you can kind of get a mulligan. If you file for retirement benefits or something, and a few months later you change your mind and say, "Oh, I should have never done that," or you get a new job or whatever, within 12 months you can completely withdraw your application. So it's like it never happened. But if it never happened, then if you received any money after that, then you shouldn't have got that money because you never filed, right? So you have to pay that money back. So you can only do that within 12 months. So it sounds like that's what that person did, and then just refiled again. So, yep, no harm, no foul. I receive regular Social Security benefits, which are lower amount than SSI. Can apply for SSI and receive both benefit amount. Yes, absolutely. So SSI this year is $943. So if you're receiving, let's see, SSDI disability, and your SSDI is only $500, then you can file for SSI, and they will give you another, if you're eligible, they'll give you another $443 for a total of $943. But because SSI is a welfare-based program, have to have limited income or limited resources, right? So a lot of people, again, they're missing pieces of the puzzle. That's why I'm here. You can get SSI and SSDI and Medicare and Medicaid and the extra help with prescription drugs and a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan and food stamps and electricity assistance. And yeah, people that really need, I know someone in your life, someone that you know and care about is struggling. So please let's help. We're all in this together. Let's help each other out. What possible reason could there be for Social Security to deposit $63 into my account between regular payments? There we go. The website offers no explanation. There you go, Brenda. That's probably what we were just talking about. You worked last year, and that was one of your high 35 years of earnings. And so you did your taxes, and Social Security looked at it and says, okay, we owed you another $6, and so for the last 10 months, and so here's $63. So I bet you that's it. Hit like, subscribe, and share with a friend and family member. Yes, I can sit here and talk all day with blue in the face, but it doesn't help anybody out unless people watch this and share. Why is my caseworker from a different state, and why could they not provide me with info of a caseworker? They said it could be as long as 2025. Yeah. So yeah, our office, my office as well, we used to do this when the state agency that you're in, the DDS, is too underwater, too inundated with claims. There are other state agencies throughout the country that might have a little bit of, time. So workload mobility is what they called it. And so that's good. That's good. So that means rather than just, sitting on your state and waiting for your claim to be adjudicated for longer, they did the right thing and they said, hey, Maryland or Virginia or Texas, they've got a little bit of capacity, so they sent it over there. But they still should be able to provide you the claim examiner. The Social Security Administration can't, but yeah, if you find out what state it's in, then just do it yourself and call them. I mentioned survivor benefits. She was unaware that she got it. Okay, all right. Hello, I'm on SSDI. Will it turn? Okay, already talked about. Yes, it will return into that. If I wait until my full retirement age to collect my husband's survivor benefits, been passed away at their time limit on when I have to apply, and if I wait, will it affect when I claim it? Thank you for being you. I appreciate that. Um, if you wait until your full retirement to collect survivor benefits, no, no time limit. If you're entitled to those survivor benefits, and if that benefits are higher than your benefit amount, then you will get those benefits. In terms of waiting, if you collect your benefits early, almost every case with Social Security, if you collect your benefits early, they're reduced, except for disability. But survivor benefits is kind of strange. It really depends. If your husband collect benefits early, like the previous person, that, the 82.5% thing, sometimes after 62 and a half, the benefits don't increase. So if you wait till after 62 and a half to collect survivor benefits, you lost a lot of money. It depends. If your deceased spouse never filed for benefits, not an issue. If your deceased spouse filed for benefits at full retirement age, not an issue. If your deceased spouse was receiving disability benefits, not an issue. But if your deceased spouse filed for benefits early, then you might be losing money. So I would definitely call and set up an appointment. And here's the trick: you set up, particularly for survivor benefits, because the calculation is so difficult, particularly divorce spouse benefits, because you don't know when they filed. So in that particular case, you call up Social Security and you pretend like you want to file for survivor benefits. So that way you can get an appointment. Your appointment is next month because it takes forever to get the appointment. And then at that time you say, yeah, here's the person's, name, date of birth, where they were born. They can find the Social Security number, and then they'll run the numbers. And they'll say, okay, if you file for benefits now, here's how much you're going to get. And then you just say, okay, what if I wait a year until, again, you're still under your full retirement age. You say, what if I wait a year? And they'll look at it and say, oh, if you wait a year, it's not going to change other than COLA. And you'll say, okay, start my money now. But if they say, oh yeah, next year it'll be an extra $300 a month. And then at that time, then you can go ahead and decide to go ahead and start your benefits or not. And if you decide not to start your benefits at that particular time, then you just tell them, okay, no, I don't want to start my benefits. Thank you very much. They won't be depressed. It's not like they're not like salespeople where they're like, oh, I lost a sale. No, they're very, very happy. That means they can just go back to their desk and, work on the other 400 claims they have pending. So if you tell them, yeah, I changed my mind, I don't want to file, then no problem whatsoever. No issues at all. Social Security employees love to hear that. Okay, bye. So I'm on SSDI. Will it turn into regular? Okay, yep, already answered that a few times. My ex never paid child support. Someone told me that I can file to get it from Social Security. Is this true? Yes, 100% true. So alimony, child support, you can garnish those particular person's Social Security check. What usually happens, what I see often happen is, they did that. They have a court order for alimony or child support, but the person worked under the table and didn't know where they lived, and whatever the case may be. But now that they're receiving federal benefits, Social Security, disability, whatever, then those earnings can be garnished. So you have to go back to the particular court, and the court has to send a garnishment order to that Social Security office. And we used to get them every single day. It has to come directly from the court. You can't take them down there, because we've had more than one person alter the documents, say, it's $400 a month and they add a one there. You can tell it was obviously it added a one. So it has to come directly from the court. So when the court receives that, they will garnish those wages. So I filed for the independent spouse benefits and they Social Security canceled my disability, and I was getting Social Security and SSI and no longer eligible. I'm confused. Yeah, SSI. So they didn't cancel your disability. They stopped. Well, they stopped SSI. So anytime because SSI is a welfare-based program. If you're receiving SSI and you have any other money out there available to you, you have to file for those benefits. So if you have independent entitled divorce spouse or spouse benefits or retirement benefits, you have to file for those benefits. If you don't, then if they find out later, then yeah, you're going to have a humongous overpayment and get big issues. But yeah, if you get those spouse benefits and you're no longer able to get SSI, then yeah, then because your spouse benefits are more than SSI is more than the $943, then yes. So you're probably getting more money now. One of the unfortunate parts is depends, if it turns out you get $2,000 a month now, then if you were getting Medicaid from the state, then maybe they might, stop the Medicaid from the state or something like that. But yeah, anytime you're in SSI, you have to file for any other benefits you're eligible for, or if they find out, then there'll be issues. So your disability was canceled, your SSI, your welfare-based benefit was stopped and replaced with spouse benefits. Bless you. Didn't get that. Get out now. Just saying you don't have to. Oh, okay. Whatever. I'm not sure what that is. What recourse do I have? An insurance company live. Oh, okay. I wanted to sell. Okay. Yeah. So again, reach out to chapter and they'll find out what's going on. All right. Let's see. My kids' song have nothing. I don't have nothing. Okay. Let's see here. I applied for spouse benefits. It's been 4 months, no news. He passed away. They said they don't know how to. They have to get help. He worked for the railroad in regular work. I am 70. Okay. Yeah. So that's basically the jurisdictional issue. So in my office, we used to have a lot of railroad people come in. So it was pretty easy. The railroad board was in Mesa, Arizona. We used to call them up and say, hey, do y'all have jurisdiction? Do we do? Do you want us to do it? Do you want to do it? So it really depends who has jurisdiction. If the railroad board has jurisdiction, then you need to contact the railroad board. Let's see here. I received a letter about benefit suspension because of application withdrawal and offered to reply within 60 days if I change my mind. Okay, already. Yeah, so that sounds like it's the all right, we're getting close. Oh, we're over. So let's see here. Let's get some people that I've never seen before. We're out of time. I'm SSDI today. I received a deposit for this month. Should I be worried and take that cash amount? Yeah, just reach out. It might be because possibly you worked last year and made a little bit of money when you're high 35 years of earnings. So that's probably it. All right, last question here. I'm 63, filed for my own Social Security with plans to switch to survivor benefits at 67 when it's 100%. Late husband Social Security is higher now and later. SSA agent says to take his now as I won't get more if. No, you can, yeah. Um, so it really depends when your late husband filed for benefits. So it might not, again, I would find out, I would get with that Social Security person and have them run the calculations and say, okay, I understand how much my benefits are right now, and I understand how much my benefits will increase next year. Okay, you're telling me I should do one or the other. Okay, give me the numbers. How much would I get right now on survivor benefits? And how much would I get if I wait a year? And if it doesn't increase, that's because your husband filed for early benefits, and then it's probably better to go ahead and do the survivor benefits. But that's one of the things you can switch back and forth between the retirement and survivor benefits. Retirement and spouse benefits, living spouse benefits, you can't. So I would have her run those two numbers and see in your particular case whether it is good to do so. So, all right, we are completely out of time here. And if I missed your question, I apologize. I will be back again tomorrow. And